Welcome to Half Full. Thanks for joining Joe Fulford on. This show is sponsored by Carpet Direct of Dame. Welcome to Half Full and a Cup of Joe with Joe Fulford. The show that's always overflowing with optimism and caffeine. Joe's got his game face on and his coffee cup full, ready to dive into the world of football. From the Florida Gators to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and beyond to college and NFL football, Joe's got the analysis, the insights, and the passion to get you pumped up and ready for the game. So sit back, relax, and fill up your cup with Joe. And now from West Des Moines, Iowa, here is Joe Fulford.
Alrighty, it is another Thursday night edition of the Animal Football Half Full of Cup of Joe's, I would say. I'm wondering that was too low. Let's kind of tone it down here in just a minute. Kind of gets you excited a little bit, you know? You're in the mood, you're in the swing of things, you're into the football season, you know? I mean, it's like, you know, if you really stop and think about it, it's almost like yesterday when this thing got started. And now we're nearing the end of the regular season. We have like 2-3 weeks to go. Then things really start picking up with the playoffs. Playoffs, of course. And you got this thing happening. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, when's it gonna stop? When is it actually going to stop and everybody come to realize things not going to come? I've said that day in and day out. We're going to discuss all that in a little bit. Ron Browne of SECSidelines is going to join us in a little bit. James Ludeman may be joining us. We'll talk a little bit more about college, what's happening with Alabama, the Auburn situation. We'll obviously dive into the Bucs and everything that happened with them. And that's another situation that we have to get into. Adam Neff says, beat Gators and Bucs. Adam Neff. I like Adam. Adam is he lives in Missouri, you know, but he's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a great guy. He loves sports. He loves football. He loves his Missouri Tigers. But, you know, if there are other teams that he likes, he's going to root for them. And why not? Check me out on X. Check me out on YouTube at somewhere on YouTube. I'll get you typing Half Full and you can find me. And of course, check me out on Facebook and my Facebook page. Got a lot going on. So let us start with the Florida Gators. And of course, they took on who did they play? Ole Miss. What am I talking about? Yes, Ole Miss last week in the confines of Ole Miss. Okay. Now, Gators. I mean, they had you know, I'm going to say this. I thought they played well for the most part. But it was the last part of that fourth quarter that really just stuck it to me, you know? And as I'm watching the game, I'm watching a team trying to battle its ass off. And they played, and look, they played, I mean, I think they played a very good ball game. 108 yards of rushing on the ground, 218 in the air. Made 57 plays on the day for 326 yards. Had 5 penalties on the day. Ole Miss had the ball more for 37 minutes. Man, Keywan Lacey, man, 224 yards on the day. I mean, and it's probably the difference in the game on Saturday night. Third down efficiency, the Gators were 6 of 13, Ole Miss was 6 of 16. But here's one of the differences in the ballgame. Fourth down. Ole Miss was 5 of 7. Gators were 0 and 2 in fourth down conversions. Pretty impressive for Ole Miss for what they were doing. You know, and you gotta hand it to them. You know, Gators had the game 27-24, and then all of a sudden, going into the fourth quarter, you know, they just opened it up. Lacey had 3 touchdowns on the day. One from 3 yards out in the first quarter, and two in the fourth quarter. One coming from 1 yard run, and then that last minute run to seal the deal. But 34-24 was the final score. But I look at the game and I say to myself, you know, I thought that the Gators played as well could be expected. Jaden Ball should have run the ball more. 15 carries for 61 yards. Michael Sturdivant, 2 catches for 62 yards. He scored a touchdown. Aiden Mizell, 3 of 14. And Hayden Hansen, 2 for 5 yards. That's the story on the Florida side. Now, we can, let's see here. Ron Browne's supposed to join me in a minute. Is he having issues? He's going to join me here in just a little bit. He's kind of running a little bit late. But you look at it, and it's like, what do the Gators need to do to win a ball game? And I think that Billy Gonzalez is doing as well as he can. But the defense, a team that has been there for such a long time, and has been the major plus, has only had a bad couple of games. Now there's conversation brewing about the fact, you know, maybe it's not Ron Browne, but the defensive coordinator for the Florida Gators, Ron Roberts. Is he kind of like doing Billy Gonzalez in? I mean, before reports coming out that Ron Roberts has been upset that he didn't get the interim head coaching job. And he's kind of slacking a little bit with the defense. Now, I don't know about all that. I don't know. I don't know if that is true, but it could be, you know. And I don't know. I mean, you know, for all the talk about how good the defense has been, you know, they've all of a sudden gotten to a rut. Now, they are hurting as they take on Tennessee this week in the game this coming Saturday night. This coming Saturday night on ESPN. That will be a 7 o'clock game Eastern. No, I'm sorry, 7:30 on ABC. Florida actually has a national televised game Saturday night against Tennessee. And I got I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to this game. Tennessee and Florida has always been a big rivalry. We all know that. You know that. There are reports coming out today that Josh Heupel may be on the chopping block. We don't know that for sure, but we've heard reports that a buyout for Josh Heupel has been presented. Now, whether that happens or not, that's going to be an interesting story. But as far as the search for the head coach of the University of Florida, let's go ahead and bring you up to speed on what exactly is going on as of this hour. Now, we can tell you that Ole Miss and the athletic director for Ole Miss, they have both sat down and have had conversations. What those conversations are about, we have no idea. We can also confirm tonight, Half-Full Cup of Joe can confirm tonight that an ultimatum has been given to Lane Kiffin that he must decide his fate by the Egg Bowl. For those that don't know what that is, that's when Ole Miss meets Mississippi State in what they call the annual Egg Bowl. Kind of like what Florida State meet. Okay, it's kind of like a game like that. Okay, and by the way, that'll be next week, and we don't know what time that game is going to be. But do you really want to give your coach an ultimatum a week before, when you're in the hunt for the playoffs? I'm not so sure that this is a good idea. I understand where Ole Miss is coming from. I really do. I mean, they want to know if Lane Kiffin's going to coach the team through the playoffs. I get that. But why even present that to him? And we all know Lane's going to milk this for what it's worth. We're not stupid. We all know that he's going to milk this for what it's worth. And it's like, I'm fixing to lead you to the college football playoffs, and you want to give me an ultimatum? I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Ludy's going to join me in just a couple of minutes. He's chowing down on a piece of pizza right now. He'll join me about just a couple of minutes. Ludy probably wants to give me a bunch of crap, you know. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we had Alabama losing to Florida State. Everything was like down in the dumps, you know. And then they bounced back. And they're now they're in the hunt for the college football playoff. Latest poll came out. I haven't even had time to look it over. I do know that South Florida, who lost last week, and they're now the hunt for the playoffs. And that's another situation altogether too, because we don't know what's going to happen without a Golish. Okay, we have no idea what. No. Take that pizza away. The meat's going on TV on my show, will you? Take the pizza away. Good Lord. Oh, gosh, no. I pay these guys a lot of money to come on to my show. What they do, they want to eat pizza. What the heck's wrong with them? I will say I had Italian food earlier from a great restaurant, you know. Oh, James Ludeman joining me here on this edition of Half Full and Cup of Joe. How are you?
A couple of things. First off, I've never been paid, So if you've been paying me, I don't know where you're sending that money because I haven't
Oh
gotten
Lord,
any.
I got to figure that
But
out, man. I got to
but
find out what's going on
secondly,
there.
I didn't even not even eat pizza tonight, bro.
Oh,
Pizza wasn't even on the menu tonight. I can't eat that stuff anymore.
oh, oh,
Apparently, I have to not be bad anymore with food. So we're,
oh no, oh no.
trying something new.
It, it's been a while. It's been ages since we have talked. How you doing? Before we go on any further talking about the Gators, let's talk a little bit about Alabama football. I gave you a lot of crap about them losing to Florida State, but this just in, they're in the hunt for the college football playoffs.
Yeah, they are. I was watching earlier today. There was a radio host, or he does a show his name is just escaping me, but he does a thing called Contender or Pretender. And
Yes.
one of the things that I saw in there is that Alabama was listed, and he has them as a contender. Listen, look, it has been an up and down season, as we all know, for Alabama, losing to Florida State in week 1. Last week, Oklahoma, Ty Simpson still threw for over 400 yards. I mean, you gotta look at this, no pun intended, as half full, right? It you can look at it one of two ways if you're an Alabama fan or if you're a college football fan. You can look at the Oklahoma game last week and say, okay, this team is very, I think the radio host put it as two-dimensional, and they have zero running game. Their defense has looked, even in the games that they've won, their defense has not always looked the best. I don't think we've had that one, staple win. Georgia was a good game, but it was still close, where the defense has played particularly well. So, I look at this and say, well, are they a contender for the playoff? I think they still get in. They have Auburn this weekend on the road. That's going to be a tough one, obviously, the matchup, the Iron Bowl, of course. It's a big-time game. Listen, you win that game, you get into the SEC championship, you probably play Texas A&M at this point, who's just dominating. By the way, craziest comeback in college football I've ever seen. 35-0 at halftime. And for them to come, or 30, I think it was 31-0 at halftime.
I think it was 31-0. Yeah.
Yeah. You come back in that game, and that was the most incredible second half of college football I think I've ever watched. I have never seen a team blow a 31-point lead like that. You obviously saw it in the Super Bowls, 28-3. Like, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
This is a full-blown, you have Texas A&M on the ropes, and you got knocked out. That's insane to me. How college football is it's unfair. It really is.
I am watching that. I am watching that game. By the way, he's James Littleman, usually the Animal Half Full Cup of Joe, coming at you on this edition of Half Full Cup of Joe. I'm sitting there watching that game, and I'm trying to figure out who was the opponent that they were facing. Yeah. All I remember,
it was Missouri, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, wasn't Missouri. Because Eli Drinkwood, because that would have been the bigger story. It wasn't Missouri. I'll find out who it is, but
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I honestly thought that.
South Carolina. That's right, South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. It was South Carolina. They had him up 31-0, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but Shane Beamer's team, for some shocking reason, they just blew it. And if there's any reason why South Carolina may lose their coach, that may be the reason for that. More on that in just a little bit. But, I mean, is that the greatest comeback in college football for 2025? I don't know. I don't know what's going to beat it.
It may be the best college football comeback ever. I'm going to be honest with you. I have been watching this game since I was a kid. I have never seen a team blow a 30-point lead. They were actually up 30-0 at half, and they lost 31-30. So I have never seen a team, South Carolina, just dump. And it wasn't even like they were like it was a fluke here and there. No, South Carolina dominated A&M in the first half. I mean, dominate. They were
They
throwing
did.
all
They
kinds
were
of
killing
picks.
them.
Texas A&M couldn't get their offense going. He threw, I think, 3 interceptions in the first half. Came back out after halftime, and I don't know what was said, but the coach even said before they went into the locker room on TV, he said, we're going to play better in the second half. And I don't know if he even thought that they would come back like that. But, hey, listen, that's what, to me, separates the good teams from the great teams. You can win through adversity. And I think if you're a Texas A&M fan, normally this time of year you're dreading it because this is usually when things start to go downhill for them. They're good for the first couple months and then they slide. There's none of that. Like, the offense is great, the defense is great, and that's the difference between them and Alabama. You know, Alabama has flashes of greatness. One week the offense will be good, the defense will be terrible. One week the defense will shine, the offense can't do anything. So that to me, to your original question about Alabama, like, I look at this and say, I don't know what to expect from this team. They have to win against Auburn. That's all there is to it.
Let's get in. It was actually 30-3 at halftime. 30-3 at halftime. Okay, so that was the halftime score, and then South Carolina reeled off 21 points in the third quarter, then 7 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. And Lenore Sellers, 15-30, 246 yards. But how about Marcel Reed? 22 of 39, 439 yards through 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. And they did not get much from the rushing game. It was mainly from the passing game. And you're sitting here thinking to yourself, this is why Texas A&M is the number 3 team in the country.
There's an argument they could be number 1. I really do believe that. Listen, Ohio State, I'm not taking anything away from Ohio State or anything. I'm really not. Listen, you got an Ohio State team again who's always, just seemingly at the top. Listen, and I can't take anything away from Indiana either because they have played very, very good football in that conference. But after that game against South Carolina, I know they're unranked and a lot of people want to give them a hard time, but to come back like that, and even listen, Lane Kiffin said it too. He said, if you're going through the ranking system, how in the world is Texas A&M going to be number 3? There's just absolutely no way that happens. So, listen, the ranking system is what it is. You know, you got Ohio State at 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3, Georgia 4, and Texas Tech in the top 5 with Ole Miss being right there at 6. I mean, any one of those teams, I think this is the first year, Animal, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. You've been watching this a little bit longer than I have, but I have never seen a top 10. You can go all the way down to 10, really, with Notre Dame being out of it. I don't count them, but any one of these teams right now could win a national title. Any one of the teams in the top 10 could win the title right now. Like, that's how good this top 10 actually is. I know a couple of them have 2 losses. You got Alabama with 2 losses, Notre Dame with 2 losses, and Oklahoma. But any one of those top 7 right now, if they played for the national title, could win it. Any one of them.
I actually believe that looking at it, let's review who we have in the top. Let's review for the people who we have. Ohio State number 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4, Texas Tech 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon 7, Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, and Alabama 10. BYU and Utah bring up the backside of the top 12. Miami Hurricanes is right on the crust.
And listen, don't sleep on Vanderbilt. If they beat Tennessee this week, they might be in. I'm going to tell you, if they beat Tennessee on Saturday, there's a good shot that Vanderbilt gets in. I promise you.
Well, somebody who would know about the SEC and knows a lot about it is going to join me here on this edition of Half Full and Cup of Joe. And we left the pizza out of the green room back there for him. But Ron Browne, as we join Ron Browne, as you join us here, James Littleman, yours truly, the Animal Half Full Cup of Joe. Um, as we dive into this, what was the biggest surprise you took away from the weekend?
Me from last weekend?
Yes.
Not really any surprises. I mean, Tennessee plays. I mean, or Vanderbilt plays Kentucky Saturday. Then they play Tennessee.
Oh, that's
Yes.
that's
No,
right.
yeah,
That's
but
right.
no, but that you're right. It's wide open, and I think the takeaway is there's still not a dominant team that makes you stay up at night because you're worried about their particular offense or defense. It's as wide open as we've ever seen it, and it's absolutely awesome for the TV people because you've now got, here it is, Thursday, November 20th, guys, and people in Enterprise, Alabama are thinking about Oregon and Southern Cal. It used to be they didn't give a rat's, they didn't care. Now they do. And, I cover the SEC. It's like having 16 kids. And, Brendan, as he and Buddy have GatorBackMedia.com, we cover and both Auburn and Florida are like two cars on the side of the road with 4 bald tires and no gas, but they'll come back. But they will be back. But Vanderbilt, James is right. If 5 years ago, you, me, and James are at the local bar around the corner, the old Irish pub, and we're liquored up about 11 at night, and I say, Joe, James, in 2025, in late November, we're going to be talking about Indiana, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech being in the college football playoff, and Texas Tech maybe having the best team in America. Y'all would have said, cut him off. No more drinks. He's had too many. But here's where we are. And my God, it's like waking up on Christmas morning when you're 8 years old. You don't know what all you're getting.
No. No, and it's just mind-boggling to me. And James, I'll tell you a story here. And I talked to Ron Browne about this. A couple of weeks ago, I went to get a haircut. Like, I need one actually, but I went to get a haircut a couple of weeks ago. I'm sitting at the haircut place watching the Indiana game when the receiver made that terrific. I mean that probably right there will go down as the play of the year. Right there. That's the play of the year right there. The game of the year has to be Texas A&M coming back and beating South Carolina. I mean, we can drum up other things, other awards like that. But James, as we head down the home stretch of the regular season, a lot of people are giving Ty Simpson a lot of hype right now. But I really do like the Indiana quarterback. He is doing something amazing.
Yeah, I listen. I think with that catch, I think he won the Heisman. To be honest with you, I think it's clear that he's the Heisman favorite right now. And listen, I don't take anything away from what Ty Simpson has done, but I think that Oklahoma game really hurt him. He did not look good in that game. Yes,
no, he did not.
He threw for over 400. Yes, they were still in the ball game. That's the frustrating part of it as a fan, somebody who covers Alabama. Like you watch this team and you're like, man, there's glimpses of them just being really good, and then they play Florida State and are terrible. There's glimpses of them coming back because they beat Georgia and they beat Tennessee and they beat all these teams, and then you do this against Oklahoma. Like, I think the person who said it earlier on the radio said it best. This team is two-dimensional, and you can't be that way in this league. Ohio State, multiple weapons. Indiana, multiple weapons. Oregon, multiple weapons. And by the way, to your point, Rob, about USC, if they win out and can beat Oregon, they're in. I don't think there's any question. If they beat Oregon, they're in. So, I mean, this is, to Rob's point, this has just been a wild, topsy-turvy season. And to be honest, I'm thankful as an Alabama fan just to be able to be involved in the conversation still, knowing what I know now. But listen, to me, you're right though. And I said earlier, any one of these teams in the top 7 right now. I would say 7 because 8, 9, and 10. Notre Dame, you can make an argument that they haven't really played that well. Alabama, Oklahoma, you never know what you're going to get, although Oklahoma is getting hot at the right time. They got their quarterback back now. So you could throw them in there too if you want. But I think this top 7 is so wide open. Any one of these top 7 teams can win the national title. I really believe that.
When you say he's the favorite for the Heisman, are you talking about the receiver for Indiana, or are you talking about the quarterback for Indiana?
No, I'm talking about the quarterback. I mean, his quarterback plays.
Okay.
Listen,
I thought so.
He's had a good, run of this being 11-0 at this point, or 10-0 somewhere in there, and he's been able to do these kinds of things throughout the season. You win your dominant games. They got Purdue this weekend on the road. Definitely going to be a tough place to play, but Purdue's not who they used to be years ago. So it should be, ideally, although it's college football, you never know anymore, it should be a pretty easy win. And then they can go to the conference title game where they'll play Ohio State. And then we'll really see if Indiana's for real. That's what I want to see. I want to see the big game. I want to see Indiana, Ohio State. Winner probably gets the number 1 spot in the college football playoff. And the loser, I mean, even if Indiana were to lose, I still think they get in just based on what they've done.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that. Ron, why don't you piggyback on that with your comment?
I agree with James. I mean, Indiana's in. And Fernando.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Oliver calls him Fernando Heisman-Doza. He's from Miami, and he was at Cal.
Yes.
And he and Jaden Ott was the running back at Cal that transferred to Oklahoma. But I don't think he's even broken a sweat this year because he said, I'll let y'all know when I'm ready to play. That's going over like the Hindenburg. But go back to that Alabama game, and I'm an Auburn grad, so I've been suffering 5 years of misery. I mean, it's like a kidney stone you can't get rid of, or like it's like eating Mama Leone's extra thick sausage lasagna, and you just can't go.
Yeah. Ready.
You can't go. How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
How you doing? Hey, Joey Bag of Donuts here, huh? But I'm gonna look at Alabama. Ty Simpson's a damn good quarterback, and you think about. We have a lot of guys like on our show, coaches, and Pete Cordelli and Ellis Johnson will tell you, Dave Bartu, College Football Matrix, the SEC teams right now, take Nick Saban's team in 2020. They would grind into sawdust this Alabama team. I'm just saying that 20 team of Alabama's in the year of the virus was off the charts, incredible. And then
quick point on that. On that. I actually covered the team that season for Tide 100.9 Radio in Tuscaloosa. Okay. I went to the Rose Bowl in Texas, in Dallas.
Oh my God!
When Derrick Henry, or not Derrick Henry, it was Najee. Najee jumped
Harris,
over the defender. I was there. The whole press box went, oh, and when you're in the press box, like, you don't show any emotion in there. I learned that.
You can't.
But when he jumped over that guy, everyone, oh, like a whole way around. And then we went to the national title game in Miami, and that was two of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, crushed Ohio State. And we have Rodney Orr, Tider and Cider on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I know Rodney.
Yeah, and then Gary Harris from Tide 100.9 and Channel.
I produced his show.
Okay, on Thursdays. So are you still in Tuscaloosa?
No, I live an hour from Nashville now, so I should be a Vandy fan, but I'm not.
Okay.
But no, I got my start really in radio. I was an intern with Gary, and Gary will tell you he knows who I am. Rodney, I always called Rodney every week because I had the list of phone numbers, and Rodney was a weekly guest on his show, so I talked to Rodney here and there, but and then saw him at games, of course. But
and did you know Vince Ferraro? He's up in Knoxville now. Yeah. He's on our show on Wednesdays. Wait. Tuscaloosa is an incubator for great.
What do I know that name?
Vince
what do I know that name? Yes,
he's from Tampa. He went to South Florida, USF.
Oh, okay. I mean, that name rang a bell. I didn't know what to think about that.
Yeah,
he's
incredible. Yeah,
more on that in just a minute. Let us focus on my boys right here, the Florida Gators. Which
did they sign Lane Kiffin yet? That's all I
want. Hang on. Let me get into the latest update that we have as to what's going on. Now, First thing first, let's talk about Tennessee game this weekend. One of the biggest rivalries in all of college football. Tennessee, Florida, at Florida, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Central, on ABC. It is the first time that I can recall that the Florida Gators have ever been on ABC prime time. I could be wrong, but I think that's the first time I've ever seen the Florida Gators on prime time on ABC, not CBS, but ABC. Okay, now they're going to take on Tennessee Saturday night. Caleb Banks is going to play. We found out today the left tackle Austin Barber is going to play. Also, Tony Livingston is going to play. So some of the Gators are starting to come back and get healthy. But there's no mistake that there's a lot of problems with this Florida Gator team. As we look back on this game, Ron, at Ole Miss, I was very impressed with the way the Gators played for the most part. But damn it, it was that fourth quarter that just killed them.
Well, you start when things are going bad. A team in the fourth quarter, as the game goes on, here we go again. Woe is me. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and that's what you just hate to see. Florida doesn't lack talent. I think that's the number 9 roster in the country. Bama's number 2, Georgia 1, Ohio State's 3. It's right all of it. They ain't lacking talent at Florida, but this Tennessee Florida game in the 90s, that was the king of rivalries. It was.
Oh
great.
My gosh, yes.
But Tennessee's like 2-17 all time in the Swamp. And it's a tough place for them to win. Now, look, they go down and the wheels fall off and Florida plays lights out football. It's not going to be good. Josh Heupel's not going to lose his job, but going into the next year, there'll be a lot of talk about that crap. And just like, James knows in Tuscaloosa, I talk to Gary Harris a lot, and he's on our show every week. He made a good point. We were in Knoxville in 22 when they broke the 15 straight losses to Alabama up in Knoxville. Tennessee won that game. And Gary called me, and I was in my mother-in-law's driveway in Clarksville. Not that I didn't want to go in and visit with her, that I was staying out. I'm kidding. I was out in the car. I love her. I love you, Ann. But Gary made a good point. He goes, Rob, since Saban's been here at Alabama, when Alabama loses, it's epic. They tear down goalposts.
Yes.
The Berlin Wall falls. Children name their children after the player for the other team that scored the touchdown to beat Alabama. I said, yeah. He goes, that's a real good problem to have. That's like going, I'm in the 38.6% tax bracket. Well, good for you. But Alabama football, Notre Dame football, those two programs right there are going to be relevant even in a bad year. It's like 60 years after she died, if we heard there was going to be yet as unseen nude photos of Marilyn Monroe at the beach, everybody would want to see them. Alabama football has the greatest tradition in all of college football. They claim 18 national titles. They really could probably claim 26. Bottom line is, they'll win against Eastern Illinois Saturday, and they'll go down there in the Iron Bowl. Why is Auburn suddenly going to play great football when they hadn't done it all year? I mean, Hugh Freeze is gone. The thaw has begun. But I think Alabama, they should make the playoff. And if they're 10-2, you ain't keeping Alabama out. I want to ask both of y'all, Texas at 9-3, if they beat A&M, should they be in? And I'm just going to say this. There's 30 million people that we know of in the state of Texas. Having all those TV sets has nothing to do with them getting in. What, anyone?
No.
Not at all.
No, I don't think Texas should be in. They lost to Florida. They lost to Florida, and I mean, I think. Excuse me. I think unless you are really hurting for a 12 team to be in that position, maybe. But I don't. But when you lose to a team like Florida, and I'm sorry I'm saying this, but when you lose to a crappy team like Florida, then no, I don't think they should be in it. But James, go ahead and piggyback on me for 30 seconds on it.
I have a tough time with this question because
I do too.
There's never been a 3-loss team in the playoff.
No.
So that's if history shows anything, then no. But but my issue is this, to Rob's point. You have Arch Manning, and if they find a way to beat A&M and with Arch Manning and that Texas conglomerate that they have over there, I don't know how you keep them out. That's the 3-loss thing. I get that. That was a lot of that, though, is when we only had 4 teams. Yep. So now you've expanded the field. Someone with 3 losses at some point is going to get in. I really believe that, especially if you're looking at quality of wins, quality of opponent, SEC. Like, if you're looking at all of these things that the committee claims to look at, I don't know how you overlook, especially if it's a big win. Now, I don't think it's going to be a big win. I think A&M is going to take care of business. But if for some reason Texas pulls off a miracle, I have a very difficult time not putting them at 12, even not going to the SEC championship game.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can overstep Vanderbilt. I don't think you can overstep USC to put a 3-loss team in the playoffs. I think that's what they're trying to avoid right now, is to put a 3-loss team in the playoffs. We're not a school, Ron. You can talk.
Rob has a question.
Point of parliamentary procedure, sir.
Point of order.
Okay.
Point of order.
Now, in head-to-head competition, as they say in the Deep South, it ain't nothing. Texas did beat Vanderbilt head-to-head, albeit it's a close game. I'm with James. There are 2 reasons why Texas at 9-3 gets in the playoffs. Number one, they're Texas. Okay, 30 million people in the state that we know of, a lot of TV sets, and it's all about the money. And I think number 2, they would then have 2 wins if Oklahoma keeps winning over top 10 teams. Oklahoma beat them. They beat Oklahoma.
They beat Oklahoma.
They beat Oklahoma 23-6. But they would have that win, and I was right. And then they would have the win over Texas A&M. You ain't keeping them out. The 9-3 team is going to come from the SEC. It's going to be these guys.
But I don't think you can do that, because if you put a 3-loss team in the playoffs, you're setting a very dangerous precedent for future playoffs. But that's just me. You guys have your opinions. That's fine. When it comes out,
my opinion is they need to just expand the playoff to 24 anyway. Yeah. I don't think it needs to be 12.
I do too.
Just have a 24 team or a 25 team. Let do 24 versus 25 as a play-in, and because here's the thing, bowl games, and this is a side note, but bowl games don't mean what they used to mean.
They don't.
If you're a top 25 team, why would you want to play in the Cheez-It Bowl? Like, this is
exactly.
Wants to play in that.
No, I agree.
Make it. Listen, 12 is a lot. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think if you're really wanting inclusion and you want the playoffs and the bowl games to mean something, then I think you just expand the field to the top 25, let the bottom 2 play in, and then go from there. That's how you make money if you're college football too.
Here's my point that I think should be very important. I don't think you can overstep a USC. I don't think you can overstep a Vanderbilt. They win their games. I don't see how you can knock them out of the playoffs.
If USC beats Oregon, then yes,
I think what we're going to see happen, and Rob, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think we're going to see happen is this year we're going to see the 12 team. Next year it's supposed to be 16, but I think the year after that, I think we go to 24, and I think that's the way they're going to set it up. Now, it's just me. I don't think we see a 3-loss team in the playoffs, but I don't know.
Look over my shoulder. This is my map made by my friend Barnwood Brenda. She carved that out of Cyprus. You can't even scale it. It's just the way. Look how big Texas is, just blotting out the sun. It's like who were those?
But that's not what this is about. But I don't.
It is what it's about. Unfortunately,
I think for the college football playoffs and the playoff committee, they need to be mindful
They're
I'm
not gonna
choosing
be.
the best team.
Well, if they no, if
Okay,
they were mindful,
okay, I'm wrong.
if
No,
they
you're
were
no,
mindful, Alabama would be above Notre Dame. Like no, that's my biggest gripe with the ranking right now. There is no reason Notre Dame should be above Alabama right now. None. Zero.
None.
What
Zero.
quality win does Notre Dame have? None. Where do they play? In some random, hey, I'm going to just stay over here as an independent. No. Independence doesn't work in politics. It doesn't work in the college football playoff. That's the problem I have. I don't trust the committee to make good decisions. That's the problem. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I can agree with you on that point.
But,
Well,
hey, let me say, James is right, and I hope, man, this is cool. I hope you're back on next week when I come on. This is fun because I'm in Memphis, and you're somewhere in Middle Tennessee, Tullahoma, Lawrenceville, Lewisburg. I don't know where you are. Shelbyville. There you go. Yeah. Home of the Tennessee walking horses, my friend. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I had a client who owned the most famous Tennessee walking horse in history in Savannah, Tennessee, and he built this ginormous barn, and it was so beautiful. And he goes, but I don't allow horses in there. I go, why? He goes, because they'll mess it up. But he had the most famous walking horse, his grave out in front of the thing. It was incredible. So anyway, what James and I are trying to say, Joe, we're not trying to attack you, but a 9-3 Texas team is swinging a big stick because they are Texas. And you, again, my map, you can't even avoid on the map. Texas is just, they need their own map. It's like, remember it used to be Oklahoma and the Seven Dwarves and the Big Eight. And then Bob Devaney came in 1962 from Wyoming, the cradle of coaches west of the Mississippi, Miami of Ohio, east of the Mississippi. Fred Akers came from there, Pat Dye, a lot of great coaches. But Texas at 9-3, you ain't keeping them out. And remember, and I'm not saying that there's any possibility that they bump into each other at the country club in Highland Park, in Dallas, in that swanky neighborhood. And the Texas guys are going, well, we did get 2 top 10 victories, and they want to be invited out to the ranch, to go hunting. Trust me, Texas is it's a freak show. It's like the bar scene in the original Star Wars movie, man. You are not keeping them out if they're 9-3 with wins over Oklahoma and Texas. The Florida loss, what did we say earlier? Andrew Dice Clay, hey, forget about it. It's not going to matter. It's
they kept
bias, yeah.
But to your point, to the counterpoint of that quickly,
okay,
they kept out Florida State, and that is where I look at this and go, I could definitely see Texas getting in, but then I look at a team like Florida State who dominated everybody. Now, granted, their strength of schedule is really what ultimately did them in. And people want to say, well, it's SEC bias. No, it's not. It's strength of schedule bias. The ACC is terrible. Who did you beat? Clemson's not good anymore. Miami's a choke job. Virginia Tech's terrible, even though they just signed James Franklin, so they're getting back on the bandwagon here a little bit. But I look at that and go, well, I could see how Texas would get in, and I could see why they'd be upset that they're not in, because they've got 2 top 10 wins. It's just the committee in itself right now, I think, has no idea what they're doing. And they're just like, all right, let's just throw this team in here and let's move on. Because that's what they've done over since the college football playoff began. We see these teams not get in, and we're like, well, how did they not get in? Like, I'm not the biggest Florida State fan. Screw those guys. But I also understand why they're upset that Alabama got in over them. And I see the argument to it. But the only thing I can say about the college football playoff, the only thing that's for sure is nothing's for sure. 100%.
Yeah, that is true. Make no mistake about it. I'm sure we'll discuss it in more detail. Rob, let's talk about the Lane Kiffin situation. Reports are out now that there is an ultimatum. What's that about?
Go to Florida. Get out of Ole Miss. Go. Just go.
Okay.
We don't play Florida as much as Ole Miss. Go away.
Okay. So we've heard reports that Ole Miss has been given a guarantee. I don't know why he not. I don't
You
know
mean
why
an
he signed off.
give an ultimatum for
Yeah,
him?
yeah, the ultimatum. And then I find out today that both Lane Kiffin and the AD met for a little while. I mean, is this a good thing that you have give your coach an ultimatum when you're in line for a playoff? I mean, I don't think that's a good thing to do, but I mean, you have your opinions of it.
I don't think he was given an ultimatum. I don't think anyone has a damn clue about what's going on with Lane Kiffin. And, we all know his wife, Layla, if they're back together, which I hear they are, she went to Florida. I think she was a cheerleader at Florida. Her dad, John Reeves, is a Florida legend. But I think Lane Kiffin and Jimmy Sexton is behind the curtain, okay, pulling all the strings. Memphis Fats is what they call him. He is pulling all the strings, and he knows he's getting everybody a raise. Look, it's November.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and I know that there's a contract. I've heard that there is a contract offer on Lane's desk to re-up with Ole Miss, but I don't know if it's a good thing to give a coach an ultimatum when you're in the hunt for the playoffs.
I don't think they did. I don't believe he was given an ultimatum. You don't do that to that guy.
No, that's what I would do. That's what I would think.
Cannot do it. They can't. All this stuff. Look, here's what's funny. The local people that I know that cover Ole Miss, the beat writers, day in and day out, they're not saying this stuff. It's these national guys, the flybys. Not that they're not good either, but I'm telling you, these local guys that I know in Oxford that live in the neighborhoods with these people, they go to dinner, they know them, they're in the country club with them. They're not saying Kiffin. They're not saying he's leaving. It's the national people. You got to think about that. I'm telling you, and
I don't think he's leaving. I think Lane is being honest when he says he's happy where he is at Ole Miss. I don't think he's leaving, but to give a coach an ultimatum, I think is stupid in my opinion. But I don't know if an ultimatum has been given. There was also a couple of other news that came out that the wife of Lane Kiffin visited the University of Florida or visited Gainesville, but also visited LSU. And it appears now that LSU is also stepping into the picture.
Well, I mean, Tuesday morning, Yancey Porter was on our show, Rebel Yell Hotline, Monday nights, 6:00. He does that show all over Mississippi and the Mid-South. He said it's funny because Knox was in school in Oxford. He's got kids in school in Oxford. There's local, James, I was talking about the local people in Oxford. They're not talking like this. It's the national. So, I mean, I'm not saying you can't trust them, but there were some people writing stuff before the season. Is Texas the new Alabama? And I was like, no, they're not. And these are good writers. People get all giddy and caught up when they get around what they think is shiny and new and sexy. But I'm not – if Yancey Porter tells me I think Kiffin's leaving, I think he's leaving. Yancey hadn't told me that. I'm texting him right now. But now there's stories that John Summerall, the Tulane coach.
There was a call there. Yeah,
come on. I was with one of his very close friends at dinner last night in Little Rock who knows him really well. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, he knows him very well. And you know what? You know who a great fit is? A guy that can win at your program. And you know what? Yeah. If a dog will bite, he'll do it when he's a pup. James, you know it. We all know it. If a coach is making stupid mistakes the first year and he's still making them, they can't count players in year 2 and year 3. They got a bad hire. It's time to move on. He might be a nice guy. He might even sit next to you at church. Good for him. But he can't coach football. Got to move on. And I'm with you. There's a story right now in The Athletic. Can Virginia Tech ever win again? Well, they got James Franklin now. That guy can coach.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a James. Make that playoff 16, 24. God almighty, if you don't think the regular season matters in basketball, why did they have – when Auburn and Alabama were number 1 and 2 in basketball last year at Coleman Coliseum, that's the biggest sporting event in basketball history in that state. I mean, the regular season matters. You've got Bruce Pearl now, Stephen Pearl, and Nate Oates. I mean, those guys are friends. They know what this is doing for the state of basketball. The regular season matters. If you don't do well in the regular season, forget about the postseason. I'm with James. Make that playoff bigger. Fan bases, there's 30 fan bases right now that think they can make the playoffs. It's better than the old cabal we had with 2 or 4, and everybody else was just, y'all go outside. You can't come in and play. You can't play with us. You don't, you're not good enough. I think the future of college football, as crazy as it is, it's just going to get better. Too much is never enough. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. The John Summerall deal, there was a report that he had an interview with Florida Gators, but the deal is that Florida canceled the interview. Is that true, or was it Summerall that canceled the interview, or was there even an interview at all?
Yeah. That's why I'm Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone. I mean, James, are you old enough to remember the Twilight Zone TV show?
Yeah. Yeah. I was more of a Tales of the Crypt Keeper kind of guy, but yeah, I remember Twilight Zone. Yes.
I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back up next week. Boxcar Willie. Woo!
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore, but certainly we're going to. I don't think Lane comes. I truly don't.
No, hold on, though. Rob, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Lauren Meadows.
Yeah.
Number one, you get Lane Kiffin. If he ain't available, I'm going after John Gruden, I'm telling you. People think I'm crazy, but you want to talk about a guy who can come into a program with name notoriety and actually is a good football coach. I'm sorry. I'm bringing Coach Chucky in, man. Imagine John Gruden at Florida. Like, just imagine that for numbers, for ratings, for merchandise. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who can – he is literally not – he's not Tim Tebow, obviously, but he's the name notoriety that if you're wanting to rebuild a program, that's a guy you bring in to me. You want to talk about making a shock in college football? And listen, John has said he'll do it. John has said he wants to coach in the SEC anyway. Just let him do it.
I think for John Gruden, I honestly believe this. If he wants to coach in the SEC, he's going to want to do it at Tennessee, which is why I think all this stuff about
Tennessee
Josh Heupel.
No, Josh Heupel ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you, they're going to lock
that
man up from
Heupel's. I'm with James. Heupel ain't going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
And I also with James about John Gruden. People spare me all the righteous indignation that people want to give you about, well, I'm not so sure about the character of him. Lane Kiffin was dating a 23-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And her
father's
a high-ranking member of the faculty, I believe, at Ole Miss. I know a little about that. 23 years old, and he's 50 now, so she's 28. I have children that are 25, 27, a daughter that's 29, and one that's 36 that went to Alabama. She's still a good person. So I'm just saying, roll time. But look at this map. You think they're going to keep Texas out? I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't keep. Hey, I mean, Texas, and they got that 70-foot cow at the Texas State Fair. Howdy, folks. Big Tex here. How about a fried turkey leg, a fried pickle, and some fried butter? We got it all at the Texas State Fair. Everything's bigger in Texas. It's like the old Johnny Carson
you doing
show.
Sound effects tonight?
No, that's me. I'm adding sound effects. You know. I'm enhancing a little bit with this show.
I love it. This is like the old Letterman show. Remember when late night TV was funny? Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Schaefer and the band. Hey, this is fun.
Yeah, great. That's what I do, bro. That's what I do. You know, big games. I mean, let James, I can tell you really like that. You know.
Well, I
Obviously
heard the train whistle, and I'm like, "What is happening right
It's
now?" I haven't
Boxcar
been here.
Willie. Remember
I haven't been
Boxcar
on
Willie?
the show since you started these
You
enhancements. So
don't. Listen, you have to understand the lane train. Okay, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
understand it. Okay, all right. Come on, guys. You gotta get with the flow of all this. You know.
Yeah.
I still think, and I'll say this, I still think Lane Kiffin next season will be the head coach of Florida. I really do. I know
I
there's a
don't
lot of
know.
people.
I don't know.
I know locally, to your point, Rob, I know locally a lot of people aren't on that bandwagon right now. I still think, I don't think LSU's in the picture. I think LSU's a mess with their AD situation and the governor and all that stuff. I wouldn't go near that right now if I'm a coach.
I know.
If I'm a coach, I'm not touching that job until they figure stuff out. But I'm telling you, if you want a program that has, they're not Alabama, but they're still Florida, right? It's still Florida. It's the Gators. It's tradition. Yeah. It's Gainesville. And if I'm a coach like Lane Kiffin, look at what he's done at Ole Miss. He took Ole Miss from basically a bottom feeder into one of the top programs in the country now. So, I mean, if you're looking to rebuild, I don't think you're going to find a name out there that's bigger than Lane's. I really don't.
Well, here's interesting. The Buddy Martin show just tweeted out, they're going live here in a minute, that Lane Kiffin is no longer the betting favorite to be the new Florida coach. See, and James, James made a lot of great points. Here's what's going on. The stuff about Summerall coming out. Now is that damage control? We don't know what's going on, okay? We're all trying to guess what's happening, and people are speculating on other people's speculation. That's where we are, because this is true. I was with a guy that does coaching searches last night at dinner and today for a meeting and at lunch with him. He said, nothing ever leaks. It doesn't leak. It just doesn't get out. So we're pontificating and speculating, but it sure is fun, and it's entertaining.
And you know what? And you know what? When people hear that report about Lane no longer being the favorite, you know what they do? I mean, that's exactly what they do. They scream, you know? I mean, it's just crazy.
So that's why you need to watch the Buddy Martin show right here, tonight and see what it'll be fun. Right. I do think this. I think Florida, I'm with James, that 269 SEC championships across all sports. The closest competitor is Georgia with 151 all-time athletic department. I mean, it's the greatest athletic department overall in the SEC history.
Are you on Buddy's show tonight, by the way?
Not tonight. No. But okay. I mean, I'll come back on next Thursday. Will be Thanksgiving.
Yes, and I'm thinking about doing a Tuesday show. So if you could join me, that'd be great.
I could do Tuesday because I'm on with Lauren at 8, but you at 7. We could do that absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
get James back on here. Get James back on. He's cool.
I know. James is great. He's got his headphones off. And we're going to talk. And I'm doing my show on Tuesday night since it's Thanksgiving week. So if you want to join me, James, you're more than welcome to. So you might want to keep that.
Tuesday would be good. We're off for, I coach club volleyball, so that's usually why Tuesdays and Thursdays are a little bit tougher for me. But
what's that you got? What's out there, buddy?
These are all the sides you can get at my friend Allie B's Deli and Bakery in Marion, Arkansas. Sweet potato casserole. How about this one? Pumpkin cheesecake. That'll go over well.
There you go. There you go.
I love cheesecake.
There you go.
Possum innards. It's going to be a big night. It's going to be big.
There you go. Can you hang on for a little bit longer, Rob, or you have to go?
I've got about 5 minutes, and then I've got to go help move some stuff from my wife, Audrey. I've got to move.
Okay. All right.
Hey, put me in the waiting room, and you talk to Rob, and I'll listen. So Rob can get some time.
I'll get out of here because I know y'all want to get going. But James, you're fun. So you've been in Tuscaloosa. And you covered Alabama on that. Yeah. And Gary and Rodney are just awesome. They are so good.
They are.
And my friend Mary Turner is an attorney down there in Tuscaloosa, is the Turner Law Group. She's fantastic. We bring her on the show with what's going on in Alabama. At some point, that trial for the basketball thing is going to happen. So I don't know.
Yeah,
when
that's
happened.
Well,
That's wild, man.
That is the wild. I'll tell you more about that.
well,
I need to get your number. But
Yeah.
this is
Well-
fun, man. This is great. Thanks for having me.
well, hang on just a minute then.
All right.
Well, we got you on real quick, James. Auburn is in search for a head coach. What are you hearing about them?
Who would want to coach there, first of all? But second of all, I did that for Rob.
I don't blame.
And honestly, though, it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of true. It's not the same situation as the LSU or Florida job in a sense of these are two big name programs. Auburn's still a big name program. Whether people want to believe that or not is your own opinion. To me, I haven't seen, and Rob would probably know a little bit more than I do because I don't obviously actively, pursue Auburn stories. But I think the biggest thing is, and the big thing for me, if I'm a coach, if I'm any coach right now, looking at these vacancies, and there's more than just these three, obviously, that are out there, or are going to be out there, I should say. A guy like Alex Golesh, I know has been kind of talked about at Auburn. I don't mind that, but if I'm Alex Golesh, I don't go there. I think I give myself another year with USF. I think he's doing some really good stuff. They're getting ready to open a new stadium on campus, which is huge for that school. So if I'm Alex Golesh, I'm riding the wave one more year. I think you saw some glimpses of how good USF can potentially be. Yeah. They've gotten good recruiting numbers. The state of Florida, you can recruit inside the state of Florida and get 5 stars and 4 stars. Even 4 stars are solid in the state of Florida. But I know Alex is doing more than that. So I know his name's been talked about at Auburn. But if I'm Alex Golesh, I don't pull the trigger on that. I think I stay one more year with USF, see where we're at when the dust settles. People know his name now. And that, I think, is what plays in his favor. All these coaches, if they know your name, then you are somebody who has basically control of what you want to do, similarly to what Lane does. Lane doesn't have to leave. Lane can stay at Ole Miss and be perfectly happy, and they would be a top 10 team every year. He doesn't have to go anywhere. And
to follow up
for Ole Miss too is also probably in that same corner. But as far as Auburn goes, I don't really know who they would get. I know Alex is the name that I've heard. No confirmed report on that. Again, we're just speculating on the speculation, to Rob's point. But that definitely is a name I have heard within the Auburn program.
And one other thing to follow up on the Alex Golesh thing, I can tell you that he met with the new AD or CEO of athletics today in a behind closed door meeting. No word what was said about that, so we'll follow that story.
Well, it could be one of two things. It's either, hey, I'm staying.
I know. I know.
I don't think he's staying though. I don't think.
I do too. I do too. Rob,
stuff. I think you got to stay one more year.
What are you hearing? I mean, you're the Auburn boy.
I'll go in the waiting room.
Yeah, no. What I do think with Auburn, I wouldn't be surprised if John Summerall didn't offer the job. And I think, but DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, if he leaves, the defense goes with him. I'm told that by people that know Auburn that work. So what do you do? Offer him $3.5 million to stay as defensive coordinator? I think John Summerall will be a great coach.
I do too.
At Auburn, he understands. He knows the state of Alabama. He's from Huntsville. Went to Grissom High School. He is a guy that is so good at connecting with his players. He coaches them. He develops them. He won't be able to bring his staff as they are now to Auburn. He'll have to bring some other guys that have been on the group of 4, power 4 level. But I think John Summerall is the most likely to get the job. The Lane Kiffin thing, I'm digging. But again, it's all geography. Up here, no. Down there, yeah. But here's the thing you got to remember. You can win anywhere now immediately. Exhibit A, Indiana. Exhibit B, Vanderbilt. Exhibit C, Georgia Tech. I could go on and on. But look,
you could.
I'll be ready to come back on Tuesday. So thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And fix that lighting for next time.
I know. Okay? My battery just went out. I'll fix it.
All right, buddy. Rob, thank you very much. And happy Thanksgiving.
I put my
Thank you
number.
again.
Hey, I put my number in the studio chat. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'll give it. I'll
Yeah,
send it
send
to
it
you
to me.
later.
I'll
Yeah.
call you in the morning, James. Thank you so much. All right.
That'll work.
Thank you, James. Rob
What a
Brown
guy.
joining me.
What a
He
guy,
is.
by the way.
I
I've
love
seen
Rob.
him before. I've never actually talked to him. Like, dude knows his stuff. I like that. He's funny.
Oh, I love Rob. He is fantastic. You ready to talk some NFL football a little
Let's
bit
do
here?
it.
Okay, let's do it. And we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the hang back here for just a second, buddy. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they travel to the confines of where did they go to? I forget, Buffalo, to take on the Buffalo Bills this past Sunday. They lost in a heartbreaker game. It was not the kind of game that everybody was wanting for this Buccaneer team. I'm trying to find their stats. Hang on just a second, because I got it. First of all, we can tell you the injury report about the team, because they're still hurting a little bit. Jamel Dean did not practice, nor did Hassan Reddick. Ben Brenderson, the guard, with the hamstring, he was limited. Mika Abuka, he's limited. Bucky Irving, he's limited. More on that in just a couple of minutes. Tristan Wirth, he's limited. But the other guys are Graham Barton, Dan Feeney, Chris Godwin was at full practice. Luke Gedeke was at full practice. Baker Mayfield, who had a slight injury, he's back. And so the team is ready and willing as they get ready for their game coming up this coming Sunday night, as they will take on the Los Angeles Rams in SoFi. It'll be on Sunday Night Football. You can see the game on NBC. Now, let me do something here real quick, because I want to try and pull up some numbers from the game. And as James Luneman comes back on and joins me, I don't know what to make of the game on Sunday. I mean, I thought the Bucs played as well as they could, but man, there was every time when we saw Levante David at his worst. Sunday, I think, was it.
Yeah, he looks like he's definitely lost a step, and that hurts to say that. And listen, it may have just been one bad game. I can't sit here and just say Levante is playing where his age is at this point, because he's had other good games this year. It's one bad game. But listen, I'm going to say this, and Ryan Clark was on ESPN First Take this morning, and he was asked, are the Bucs Super Bowl contenders? And his answer was so just incredibly smart. And the quote that I took from this, and they quoted this on ESPN First Take, if Todd Bowles defensively can't figure out a way to stop the big play, this team cannot compete with the top of the NFC. And he is absolutely 100% correct on that. The problem I have, and listen, I am very much, and I was on Peter Blake's show on Sunday after the game. I called in, and he knows I have no love lost for Todd Bowles. I don't think he's the head coach to lead this team to a Super Bowl. And his question to me is, well, who do you get, right? And that's always the response question. But here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people want to lean on. Well, we've won division titles. Well, that's great, but you won some of those with Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. You won it with Bruce Arians, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time, by the way. You won it with, and then you had Baker Mayfield come in. Okay, great. You won the division title with Baker. Fantastic. You won it in a division. The first year Baker did it, he had to win it in the last game. Last year, he won it before that, but it's a terrible, 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 terrible division. So I am saying it just like this. This game is 100% on the head coach, Todd Bowles, who is
no doubt.
Also the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he's got to figure
no
this
doubt.
out. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're going to win the division. Maybe. And then on top of that, they'll go to the first round of the playoffs and they'll lose. Because that is what this team has become. Now, you can argue, oh, well, we have injuries and Mike Evans is out. Godwin's been out. Bucky Irving's been out. And to your point, that is accurate. You're no Jamel Dean this past Sunday. That hurt. There are guys who should be playing. Hassan Reddick should be playing way better than he has been. He's been awful. Savasier Dennis, terrible. I mean, you could just name a bunch of players defensively who just have not played up to what they were drafted at. And who would have ever thought we'd say, man, where's Jamel Dean? We miss him. Because I wouldn't have believed that going into the season, but the Bucks do. And so I don't want to be a negative Nancy because I've been a negative Nancy enough. This team is dealing with a lot. There's injuries, obviously, that we touched on. But the biggest thing that I have a problem with is you're going into this game this week against the Rams, who are playing really good football, and you're doing it on Sunday night in front of the nation. And the Bucks don't play well on primetime. We know that for sure because we've seen it for years. And what happens if you lose? That's the issue I have, because there's one team in the NFC South right now who is playing really good football, and that's the Carolina Panthers. And do not sleep on this team. I'm telling you, this Carolina Panthers team is clicking at the right time. You lose this game Sunday night and you go to 6-6. I'm telling you, they may still win the division. I still think the Bucks have the talent to win the division, so don't take this the wrong way. But I'm telling you, if they slip up, and chances are, I think, Animal, they're going to lose this game. I really do. I just have a bad feeling. This is not a good feeling I have right now.
No.
Now the rest of the schedule after this is manageable. There's winnable games. You still have the Saints left. You got to play Carolina twice. You have and the Falcons once. You still have an opportunity to do well and win this division. Yes. But are we going to put them in the same conversation as the Eagles, the 49ers, who granted they beat the 49ers, but they didn't have everybody. Now they're starting to get healthy and they're starting to bounce back. The Rams, I mean, Seattle even, barely beat Seattle. So, you look at the top teams in this NFC right now, and I look at the Bucks and go, yeah, the Bucks will get the 4th seed and go to the first round and have a home game. But are they going to be able to handle the Eagles again? Are they going to be able to handle Seattle or Green Bay, for instance, even though they've looked up and down as well? I just look at the NFC and I say, unless Todd Bowles starts to figure this out defensively and stop giving up 400 yards a game, and granted it's Josh Allen's and he's incredible, but are you going to do the same thing with Matthew Stafford? Like, I don't trust Todd Bowles. That's my problem. I don't hate the guy, but I don't trust him. I have no trust in this coaching staff at all right now.
317 yards against the Buccaneers defense is what what Josh Allen threw Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, but he had like 4 touchdowns rushing.
I know. I know.
Contain this man.
You cannot contain him. No, but let's put this into some interesting context. Is it because the Buccaneers have such a bad defense, or is Josh Allen just plain and simple that good of a
and that's the argument. I think, listen, Josh Allen is playing MVP
because they have exactly, and they have a damn good offensive line. They do. So here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say to that. It's all about physicality, and when you talk about physicality, I don't think the Bucks were up to it, especially in that 4th quarter.
Well, they haven't been though. Like, that's the thing. Like,
the last 3 games, I know.
The last 3 games, we haven't been physical at all. The Patriots came in and whomped us. No physicality on defense against them at all.
And the thing about it is,
Drake May looks good.
Well, and the thing about it, I know they just came off a bye a couple of weeks ago, and they still looked like crap. I'm sorry, but they do.
Well,
and
no,
it's like,
you know why? You know why that happened though? And Todd Bowles is terrible after bye weeks. I can't remember the official stat. I know JP Peterson talked about it. Todd Bowles is terrible after the bye week. But the problem I have is you gave these guys the entire week off of the bye week. He gave them the week off. That is lack of preparation. That's what I'm saying. I understand if you want to give a couple of days off, but this is the Patriots. They lead the AFC East.
Yeah,
this is the Bills. They're right there in the division race. These are 2 top AFC teams, and you're giving these guys a week off. Like, why? Like, there's no – I'm sorry to be so animated, but it's just that kind of stuff.
Great. It's
Well,
great.
but the thing is, it's the difference between good coaching and bad coaching. That's what we've
Yeah.
seen the last 2 weeks. The Patriots coach, Mike Vrabel, great coach. Did great things in Tennessee. His last season in Tennessee, the manager, GM couldn't figure out what she wanted to do. He left, and now we're seeing how good he is. Last week, you get Sean McDermott, great coach, guy who's winning. Like, these are two really good coaches, and now you're going to get another one this week, and it's like, how many weeks are you going to be outcoached before you say it's not working? I thought before the season started that Todd Bowles should have stuck to head coach and brought in a defensive coordinator. He didn't do it, and now we're starting to see the rips in the seam, and that's the issue I have with this game. You had a chance to win on the road in Buffalo. You punt it on 4th and 2 instead of going for it, and you give Josh Allen the ball. Why?
I know. I don't
Why? Know. Animal, why would you do that? Like,
I have no idea.
Of mismanagement that
I know
really upsets me, dude. It really does. Like, there's no reason down. You go 4th and 2. You go for it. You don't punt it away and give it back to the MVP. You don't do that. No. Anyway, I'm done now. No. I'm good.
No, you're fine. You're good. No, I love it. I love it because you're speaking truth to power, more or less. You know, so
God, that felt good to get off my chest.
There you go. I gotta do my weekly NFL games thing. So you want to stick with me for a few minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we got some games, folks, coming up this week in the NFL. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Buffalo's at Houston right now. By the way, Dameon Pierce was released today by the Houston Texans. Don't be surprised if the Bucs make a call to him. I would be very, very surprised. Oh, one more thing before we get into talking about the games for the week. I found out something today that's kind of interesting. Bucky Irving is going through a situation right now, and Mike Florio of ProFootballTalk.com talked about it, where he has like a personal matter. Now, he's not saying it's a big deal, but he doesn't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. I've talked with Peter. He doesn't even know what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's a personal matter or something, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, have you heard anything about Bucky?
No, I know. Listen, I know Joe Bucks fan had posted something. Actually, he posted it just about an hour ago. There was apparently, and I'm reading this from JoeBucksFan.com. So
please go ahead.
From him. Last month, Joe was advised of a non-football issue tied to Bucky Irving. He tried to get Ira Kaufman to tap his sources as well as another one of his sources. Basically, that the answer that he was given, Joe, was satisfied with a direct answer that explained Irving's issue was in the rearview mirror and no longer affecting his football life. This was nothing sinister or anything that called Irving's character into question. That was 3 weeks ago. But then today, to your point, Mike Florio of NBC Sports and ProFootballTalk.com said there's a non-issue tied to Irving that is part of the reason he is not expected to play Sunday in LA. And let's see, Joe cannot keep quiet if Florio is piping the following out to the NFL world. It says, hold on. So it says, I'm not so sure Bucky Irving is going to be back this weekend based upon something I heard when we were in Philadelphia. I'll tell you off air what I've heard. This is Florio telling this to Chris Sims. I want to be careful. It just underscores the very real existence of inside information because it's something that probably shouldn't be out. But I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon. It definitely is more information than what is in the injury report. So
that's interesting, yeah.
So Mike Florio apparently got some information while he was in Philadelphia about something going on. But listen, Florio, to Joe's point, Joe Bucks fan, Florio is arguably the most well-connected NFL insider. So, you take what he says with not a grain of salt, like you take it for word. So very interesting to see. I mean, again, he's been practicing limited, so I don't know, but according to this information that came out today, I think there's a good chance we don't see Bucky again, which really leads to a lot of conversation because it's, again, shoulder and ankle injury aside, this will be his 6th week not with the Bucks. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just reading it directly from the mouth, but if you're the Bucks, you got to be concerned at this point. I really believe
yes, you
that.
do. Yeah, we'll follow up on that story real quick. Some big games this weekend. Buffalo, Houston, we talk about it tonight. Pittsburgh, Chicago, New England, Cincinnati. Giants at Detroit. That's going to be a monster.
How about Chicago? Where
I
did
know, how
they
about
come from?
I know, it's like, I know. I know.
Anyway,
I think he's awesome. I think it's awesome.
I agree. I think it's fun.
I think it's awesome.
Anytime the Bears are in the conversation, I think the NFL benefits. Chicago's a great town.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I'm not a big fan of the Bears, obviously, but at the same time, it's like they just keep finding ways to win. It's crazy. It's absolutely.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
Went to Minnesota on the road, by the way, and won. That's huge. That is huge.
Huge. New England of Cincinnati, New York at Detroit. I love Detroit. I think Detroit's a great team.
New York,
Minnesota,
Giants or Jets?
Detroit, Giants.
Giants you saw the Jets actually went and they took out Tyrod Taylor today for Justin Fields. So Justin Fields will be starting Sunday for the Jets.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's interesting. Minnesota will be at Green Bay, Seattle at Tennessee, Indianapolis, KC. Boy, if they struggling right now. I mean, that's
KC's
amazing.
not in the playoffs. If the season ended today, Kansas City.
I know.
That's great. I never in a million years, if you would have told me this 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you. I would have thought it would have been more believable that Vanderbilt was good as opposed to Kansas City being not good. But Denver, listen, to their credit, Sean Payton has turned that team around. Bo Nix
he is
doing well, former Auburn quarterback. They used to call him Bo Picks back when he played at Auburn in Oregon. But man, dude's looking like a real contender for MVP. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Broncos. They're a good team.
New York at Baltimore, Cleveland at Las Vegas, Jacksonville, Arizona, Philadelphia, Dallas. That's another great game. Atlanta, New Orleans, all Bucks in New Orleans, and Monday night, Carolina will be at San Francisco. Teams that have buys for Denver.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Denver, Miami, the Chargers, and the Redskins all have buys on the week. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying if there was a way that the Saints and Falcons could both lose, that would be great. You know.
I know. I mean, it would be great. Yep. And Tampa win, it'd be great. You got to join me on Tuesday.
We should be there. I think we should be good for that. Because
we don't
have any volleyball. We have no basketball. So as long as I get my okay from the superiors, if you know what I mean, my superior boss over there. As long as I get the okay from her, I think we should be good.
Yeah, right. Okay, you got to step up. Okay. Hey, listen, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. It was great.
Yeah, buddy.
We would talk Tuesday. Talk more about the Gators and what's happening with Alabama. We'll get Ron Browne to join me as well. We'll talk more about that and a lot more. Thanks a lot for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. As always, love it. Love just being on. Thank you guys for letting me chat with y'all for a little while. And
thank you.
I can be on, I'll do it.
Thank you, James. All right. Thanks a lot, man. James Ludeman. All right. From good friend of mine. Real quick, I didn't talk about the college football games. Real quick, let me get into that real quick because there are some big games that's going to be happening this weekend. Real quick, Friday night, Florida State will be at NC State. Hawaii will be at UNLV, Dan Mullen, 9:30 on FS1. Saturday, Rutgers, Ohio State. Miami will be at Virginia Tech. Other games to look forward to will be, let's see here, South Florida will be at UAB. 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus. USC will be at Oregon, 2:30 on CBS. Syracuse at Notre Dame. Michigan State will be at Iowa, 2:30 game. That would be a very interesting ball game. I figure that somebody's going to go. Colin, Michigan will be in Maryland. Nebraska at Penn State. Of course, Tennessee will be in Florida. Cal at Stanford. BYU Cincinnati. Those are just some of the games that you want to look out for, as we're going to have a great week of college football. I've been on for more than an hour. It's been great. Thank you all for joining me. I want to thank Ron Browne, James Ludeman for joining me. Special edition on Tuesday coming up. Hopefully the two guys will join us. We'll talk about the Gator game and everything else that happened. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. As I always like to say, if you're not a Gator, you're primed to be Gator bait. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great weekend, and go Gators.
Thanks for joining Joe Fulford on Half Full and a Cup of Joe. Don't forget to tune in next time for more football talk, analysis, and fun. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Half Full and a Cup of Joe. And remember, always keep your cup half full and your team spirit full. See you next time.